Second Corinthians 5. But we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God, an house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. For in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house which is from heaven. If so be that being clothed we shall not be found naked. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with God. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same, in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body.
Looks like
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to our younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right, and what I want to get into, all right, tonight, dealing with CBDC technology, all right, which is central bank digital currency. Okay, and at the end of the day, the more, you have these groups saying it's not what it is, the more the Lord is showing it is what it is. Okay, so I found some pretty interesting videos on the alternative news. I'm gonna open up with a video from the brother Elder Karatazak out of Vegas. He just put up a video, and pretty much we're seeing this transition. Now I'm gonna show you the video from this brother, and one thing about it, with Esau's mainstream media, he's gonna paint a pretty picture of the CBDC and the technology that goes with it. He's gonna present he's going to paint the picture of convenience. He's going to paint the picture of, upgrade, of safety, security, that's the picture he's going to paint. All right. Remember, he's more subtle than any beast of the field. All right. He's crafty in wickedness. Okay. Now, if a brother can get that in the book of Isaiah 19 and 15. We'll start with that precept. I'm gonna go ahead and cue up this video, quick 3-minute video, and then we'll go right into the real deal. Okay, because this economic transition is also linked to the Third World War. Okay, and we're going to get that in this video as well. All right. So this is, news and prophecy, and we're going to get, into a few things that's going on. All right. So let me cue that up.
You would never believe what the future of payments looks like with Amazon One. So I'm getting lunch at my Whole Foods Market in downtown LA, and I didn't bring my wallet since I'll be paying with my palm. I'm choosing all my favorites from the hot foods bar and heading to the self-checkout. And usually I'd be digging in my bag for my wallet or scanning my phone, but your palm is linked to your credit or debit card, and Prime membership discounts are automatically applied. All of this makes paying so much easier, and you can sign up for Amazon One online in my link in bio.
10 News at 10 with Mark Martinez and Ellen McNamara. Welcome back. Imagine not needing cash, a card, or your phone to pay, just your hand.
Yeah, it's called palm recognition technology, and that method of payment is already here in the Valley. As I found out, it's safer than you probably think. With the scan of your hand, you can now pay for your groceries at any Whole Foods in the Valley.
As far as handprint scanning and other means of biometric like eye scanning and fingerprint scanning, it's definitely the way of the future.
Just put your hand here. The palm recognition system is called Amazon One, and tech expert Burton Kelso says,
with biometrics, one of the things that's great is that your information is tied to you. There's only one set of eyes that matches your identity. Same thing with fingerprints and same thing with palm recognition and facial recognition. So that's a good thing.
Customers we spoke with were split.
It just makes the transition in and out of the grocery store a lot faster. Of course, it's a little bit scary, but I love technology, so I decided to check it out.
I don't feel comfortable just because, you're just grocery shopping. Why would you scan your finger or your eyes or anything just to buy groceries?
It freaks me out, but I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't do it because maybe sometimes for convenience, but I don't know, it freaks me out.
While many have concerns,
part of the fear that people may see is that someone may cut off a limb like you see in the movies in order to pay for stuff, but that isn't going to happen. I mean, for the most part, your biometric data is safe, and it's going to make the future of transactions a lot easier to deal with.
Kelso says it is easier to hack your accounts online that have passwords. So while paying for items will become a breeze, it could become more difficult to teach our children about the value of money.
With automatic payment systems, it really is hard to teach children how to value their money. You already see that with credit cards and with debit cards. They're swiping and it's a done deal.
And besides Whole Foods, Panera, some airports, also stadiums across the country, they now have this palm reading technology. Kelso says, though, it's going to take a long time for basically it to go mainstream because a lot of mom and pop businesses, they already spent a lot of money having a payment system in place.
Right.
So they just can't afford something like this right now.
Yeah, it's very high tech. I mean, I remember when we started tapping our chips thinking like, wow, this is so high tech, and now we're using our hands.
I know.
I guess we're gonna have to get used to it though. It's the future.
It is definitely the future. Yep.
You would never.
So as you can see, that's what Esau does. He's good at romanticizing wickedness. Okay. So we're going to go into the real news now. Remember what they said about the mom and pop businesses, okay, having to try to, install this infrastructure because it's going to be top dollar, okay? And we're going to go into the video that's going to explain what they're doing with these small businesses and the farms and all these different things, man. This devil, see, this thing is happening, as we're going to get, all right? And in order to bring this new way of buying and selling, they got to do a complete shutdown. They got to do a collapse of the global economy. Okay, they're going to collapse the global economy because the end of the dollar is the end of the global economy. Okay, now this is the brother beyond Yasha Allah, Isaiah 19:15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Yeah, because they're going to completely shut this thing down to bring in this new way of buying and selling. Okay, it's not going to be, all right, a smooth transition because you have people that's still optimistic. Okay, so he's going to put pressure on the masses. He's going to allow chaos, all right, to happen, order out of chaos. Okay, that's the plan. All right, and the chaos is coming soon with the collapse. Because when this thing collapses, there's going to be instant chaos, man. Okay, millionaires to go broke instantly, man. 401ks gone instantly. Okay, no way to buy more goods because the dollar is collapsed. There's no good anymore. There's going to be instant chaos, man. Okay, so let's go here. Let's read this. All right, and get ready to go to the next video. Okay, this the brother Beyond Yashala. Let me see. All right, this the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 1, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. And that's what we're doing, you know, as we are keeping track with current events, you know, keeping up what's going on. All right, watching how this devil is moving, you know, studying this man's pattern. Okay, we're on the watch. You know, we was called to be watchmen, you know, and that's a sacrifice. You know, an ancient watchman, you know, he, all right, will have to sacrifice a lot of his life, you know, just watching, all right, what's beyond the gates, what's beyond the city. Okay, and what are we watching for? We're watching for the sake of the elect, man. Okay, so this is like a spiritual city in which the prophets are on the gates and watching, seeing what's happening and reporting, man. You know, sounding the alarm. It says, and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Yeah, and see, how do we see what the Lord is saying? By watching, all right, seeing what's going on, man. You know, by laboring and toiling, okay, being a watchman. Okay, the Lord speaks through prophecy, man, through these current events that link up with scripture. Okay, Habakkuk 2:2, it says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Okay, and now we're able to run. See, he wrote the vision, all right, through on the scrolls. Okay, now we have these visions in the form of a book, of a Bible. Okay, our forefathers had scribed the visions that they had, all right, and they made it as plain as they could. They described these things as plain as they could. John the Revelator, he described this technology as plain as he could. Okay, and now as we have the Spirit, the Holy Spirit in this time, we understand the mystery fully. Okay, because we're living in those visions that our forefathers seen, the prophets, real time. Okay, it said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Okay, and that's what we're doing. We're running, all right, because really what a messenger, when someone gets an urgent message, they will run with it. Okay, this is what we're doing. We're running with the urgent message for the vision. All right, verse 3 said, for the vision, yet for the appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Okay, and everything that's written in the scripture that hasn't happened is happening now. Us being awakened to who we are, that's happening in real time. Us standing on our feet, that exceeding great army. Okay, that's happening in real time. Okay, he will be a little sanctuary in the lands where he scattered us. That's happening now. Okay, Gog and Magog with Gomar and Persia. Okay, Russia, Turkey, and Iran. That's happening. That alliance is happening in real time. Okay, what John the Revelator seen on the Isle of Patmos. All right, it's happening in real time. The Karakma, this is happening. Okay, so now let's go and link it to how this is going to link into a war. Okay, this new economy, all right, the attempt to establish this new economy is going to, all right, go into what? A all-out war. Okay, if they make this thing mandatory, we're finna see these nations jock for position within this new system, man. All right, and it's going to lead into a dog fight, man. Okay, which that lion gonna show up to you. How was shot? All right. So let's go here. This one. I'll get this one first. And if you could, brother, you can keep posting that Habakkuk. Go ahead, post verses 4 or 5, really 4 through 8, Baba Shah, you know. So we're gonna go into this video, and he's gonna go into more nations, all right, leaving, all right, the petrodollar, okay. And at the end of the day, these nations, all right, when they ditch the dollar, all right, this means it's going towards a global collapse. There ain't gonna be no other country that's gonna have, you know, a currency. All right, it's not gonna be a Chinese yuan, a Russian ruble, okay, a Turkey lira, okay, the British pound, okay, a franc. That's not gonna be the new currency. Okay, it's gonna be a global digital currency. All right. But they're just creating a narrative as if they're blaming on all these nations, you know, going to BRICS, you know, the reason for the collapse. You know, they were just, you know, creating scapegoats. Okay, but at the end of the day, the goal is to go digital, one world currency controlled by a device. Okay, we're going to get into that, but he's going to go into these nations leaving, all right, and joining BRICS. Okay. And then, brother, if you can put my fact, I'll probably get that in blue letter. Yeah. So I'm letting it play.
Because we were following it very closely in the aftermath of the 2008 banking crisis. I really didn't think it would take until 2023 to roll out these things, but it's now happening. Bitcoin.com, BRICS bank official discusses common currency as reports of, look at this, gold-backed BRICS currency gain attention. It's actually coming. A new currency for the world backed by gold. We have this article from Mexico Daily, 41 countries ready to accept BRICS currency a month before the summit. The summit is August in South Africa. So, Eddie, who are these countries?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. So according to the article, the list of the countries ready to join the BRICS alliance and accept its new currency has increased from 19 to 41 in just 2 months. The new countries expressing interest to enter the bloc and ditch the US dollar are mainly from Asia, Africa, and Eastern Europe. The decision to expand the alliance and form a new currency will be taken at the upcoming BRICS summit in South Africa.
All right, and we have a list of those countries that are showing interest in joining the BRICS alliance. This is just before the summit. You want to go ahead and read this?
Yeah, of course, right. So we see in the list here, starts with Afghanistan, Algeria, Argentina, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Belarus, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Kazakhstan, Mexico, Nicaragua, Nigeria, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Sudan, Syria, the United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Tunisia, Turkey, Uruguay, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. So it's expanded a lot.
It is. This is a significant number of countries are abandoning the US dollar. And what are they going to embrace? Well, apparently there's a new currency. A lot of people think that they're going to make the announcement next month. Others are saying
they're going to embrace a central bank digital currency, okay? Controlled by a particular technology. That's what's going to be the announcement, okay? It's not going to be another one of these nations' currencies that already exist. No, it's going to be the CBDC, So we're in the transition phase, man. It's here. It's happening. Okay. You know, as we, you know, it can be, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, you know, 2 months from now. But at the end of the day, we know, all right, where this is trending to. Okay. And these nations are fed up with how America, all right, has abused the authority of being, all right, the world superpower, man. Weaponize the dollar, okay, put sanctions, you know, where the nations can't, you know, trade or buy, you know, with the dollar, you know, which cripples, you know, these nations' economy. And, you know, they're fed up with America having this much authority in the earth, man. And this is what's going to lead to America being blown off the map. Okay, this is gonna play a part in America being turned to a goddamn desert, man. Okay, let's get this real quick. This is your brother Beyond Yashala, Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. We here. You know, hey, things can speed up. All right, extremely quick, man. Okay. Because these devils, all they're doing is stalling and setting up this infrastructure. That's why you got all this madness, you know, keeping the masses distracted, you know, which is all type of madness. Okay, all type of news, you know, men, you know, letting their women, letting their wives, you know, get popped live, you know, all type of madness, man. Okay. Some, you know, Kiki Palmer and see through, like it's always something, you know, for some type of distraction. But ultimately, they're stalling while they get this infrastructure set up, man. Okay. So I'm gonna let it play some more.
Thing don't count. It may not happen. They may simply announce that they're going to announce. So we're going to have to wait until the summit in South Africa. This is a tweet, though, from the Russian embassy in Kenya. So this is an official embassy post from the Russian government.
It definitely reads there, the BRICS countries are planning to introduce a new trading currency, which will be backed by gold. More and more countries recently expressed desire to join BRICS. So again, it's talking about what we've been talking here, that the BRICS currency is going to be backed by gold, which we were many decades ago before we switched to the petrodollar.
That's right. That's right. We were backed by gold, and now it's been an oil-based currency, and some people say it's lead-based. The U.S. military.
Yeah.
If you don't go along with the program, you'll get some lead. We've got a video from RT.com about this monumental decision. This is big, folks. This is really big. We've heard about this. We've heard speculation for years. It's now in the headlines saying they're going to make the announcement next month. RT reporting BRICS is set to introduce a new currency backed by gold. Here's the report from RT.com.
The BRICS group is set to introduce a new currency backed by gold, in contrast to the credit-backed US dollar, with countries lining up to join the growing initiative.
The BRICS countries are planning to introduce a new trading currency, which will be backed by gold. More and more countries recently expressed desire to join BRICS.
The decision comes a month ahead of scheduled Alliance Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa. 41 countries have since shown their interest in BRICS membership and its new currency implementation. Russia's foreign ministry has stated that if African states show enthusiasm, the group's expansion may also be on a Russia-Africa summit's agenda in the end of July. As of now, the BRICS group remains comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Former statistician general of South Africa, Pali Lehola, says the gold-backed currency will facilitate the advancement of developing countries.
So it is coming, and the world is going to change. The US dollar will no longer be the dominant currency in the world, and the American ruling class have literally shot themselves in both feet.
Definitely.
With their arrogance and pride and just the way that they have mistreated other countries. Now countries are saying, we've had enough of you. We're done. We don't want to be part of it anymore. We're going a new direction. And one of the groups group of nations that's definitely going to be in the BRICS alliance are the Arab nations, and that's being led by Saudi Arabia. Well, Saudi Arabia is our partner in the petrodollar. It goes back to the days of Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger, when Nixon took the dollar off of gold, and then Kissinger came up with this came up with a brilliant idea. Let's back it with oil from Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia agreed that all oil transactions in the world would be done in US dollars. And the US agreed that we would militarily protect Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia further agreed that a significant portion of their oil profits would be invested in US Treasury debt. So they have the Saudis have been financing Washington's debt for many decades. This is all coming to an end. It is coming to an end this year. Now, when I say coming to an end, officially, because I don't think this currency, I might be wrong, I don't think this currency is actually going to be out on the marketplace this year. I might be totally surprised to find out it is. But I think the announcement's going to be made, and that we're probably going to see 2 to 3 years of a transition to this new currency. But everything in America is going to change financially. It's going to change. Nothing is going to be the same. And I'll tell you this, I can't imagine the price of gold. I don't see how they can, the international banksters can continue to suppress the price of gold. I just don't see it. I think gold is going to skyrocket in price in the coming several years. So that's what I see coming now.
So yeah, this is where they at with it, man. We're in that transition phase, and like I say, this transition, because if they make an announcement and say that they have the BRICS, announce that they have a new currency, expect the markets to go haywire, man. Expect things to drop. Certain things are gonna explode. It's going crazy because the stock market work off a lot of the stock market works off speculation, man. That's why Elon Musk can tweet something and stocks go up and go down in certain things. Okay, so hey, they make that announcement, hey, we're gonna see America just downtrend. We finna see America just lose power, man. Until they put a plug on it, man. And it's gonna take a while because America is, crazy rich, because they've been able to just have a currency backed by, petrol oil, and you can't, put a measurement on oil because it's something that's constantly being produced. So they've been able to just print unlimited, money. With gold, it was a measurement on gold, and you only could print a certain amount of money according to the gold that you had. But with the oil, all right, they like, well, hell, we don't, oil unlimited. So they just put, they just print money unlimited, man. So Esau has had the cheat code, all right, over in America, with their currency, man. And that's why we've come accustomed to having so much buying power with that dollar, man. The dollar just been ridiculously strong, man. But like you say, these nations are tired of America, playing a bully, with their dollar, man. Okay, so let's get that real quick, as the brother been putting up. All right, this is brother Bayan Yashala Habakkuk 2:4 said, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith." Okay, and that's us, man. Lord, we're of that number, man. We're part of that just. We're gonna live by faith, man, because we finna see people panic. bug out. Okay, niggas with fringes on finna bug out. Okay, the feminists, all right, Hebrew women finna bug the hell out. Okay, these pampered Americans finna bug out, man. Okay, and this is what faith, all right, it has to kick in at an all-time high, man, because things are going to change rapidly, man. You know, as we get closer and closer to the end. Okay, it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he's a proud man. Neither keep it at home, who enlarges his desires hell and is as death, man. Okay, and you go into how the elites have used America. They have used America to just rob and pillage the earth, man. Okay, America has been a sword, all right, and a magic wand, all right, for the elites, man. Okay, they destroy you with their military and they wave their magic wand, all right, to spread enchantments, man. You see, he never keep it at home, all right, all over the place, man. And it says, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heaping unto him all people. And pretty much he has put everyone in debt, all right, through these dollars, man. You know, the federal, the FRN, the Federal Reserve Note, has put most of these nations in debt to central bankers, man. Okay? Because the scripture say what the borrower is what? Subject to the lender. You see? The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 6, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and in taunting proverbs against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his, how long? Yeah, these nations, all right, are putting themselves in position to make a move, man. Okay? Because all these nations are with the New World Order agenda, but there's going to be a fight. Okay? There's going to be a fight. All right, there's going to be a jockeying for position within this New World Order system. Okay, because no one wants to be, all right, in the positions that they once were, man, where they were subjugated, you know, to, all right, a superpower, man. Okay, all these nations finna be jockeying for position in this New World Order, and it's going to lead to war. And they know one thing: if they don't know nothing else, they gotta get rid of America, man. Okay. This is Habakkuk 2 and 7. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly? They shall bite thee, and awake they shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Okay? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Okay? Because of men's blood and for violence of the land of the city, and all, it says, and of all that dwell therein. Yeah, and see, true justice is, you know, the people that shed blood, they blood got to be shed. Okay, that's justice according to the scriptures, man. And America has went on a tour just destroying nations throughout the earth, man. Okay, they went on a tour just destroying nations, all right, throughout the earth, man. They Esau has blood all over the planet, man, and that's why all the missiles coming back here, man. That's going to be Esau reaping what he sows, man, through this American empire. Okay. This is the book of James chapter 5, verse 2. This is the brother Anah. Shalom Akiyah. GMS, look up. All right, it says your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Verse 3, your gold and silver is canker, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh, all right, as it with fire. You have heaped treasures together for the last days, man. All right, and this is a very, all right, this is a very, you know, unbalanced money system that this man has going in the earth, because all the money constantly trickle up. As a ruler, you're supposed to distribute wealth. You know, this man makes all the wealth trickle to him, and there's going to be a witness against him, man. The condition of the earth, all right, you see the earth is in shambles. All right, Esau has the money to fix a lot of things happening in the earth, man. We will be in awe to see the money that this man has to fix, you know, things in the earth, man. But he's not going to do it because he ain't built for that, man. He built to be the wicked, man. Okay, so he's going to do wickedness. You see? But the condition of the earth and his cankered gold, all right, the money that he has stored up, the riches that he has stored up, is going to be a witness against this man. Okay, now let's go here before I get the next video. All right, and if a brother can post that too in 2nd Esdras 15 verses 28 through 29, Bible shot. Okay, well, let's get this in Jeremiah. All right, then we go to the other one. And because, all right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 14. Okay, this is Jeremiah 49 and 14. It says, I have heard a rumor from among, all right, I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and ambassadors sent unto the heathen, saying, gather you together and come against her, and her is America, man, and rise up to the battle. Okay, because as these nations are aligned economically, they're aligned militarily as well. Okay, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised amongst men. Okay, and you go into this word small. All right, in the Hebrew is kortan. Okay, which is small, insignificant, unimportant. Okay, and that's what America is becoming. All right, it is becoming unimportant on a global scale. You see, these nations are maneuvering to get away from America. You know, but one thing about it, when they get away from America, it's going to be a total collapse. All right, and in the midst of that collapse, man, hey, it's going to be a major war jump off, man. Esau tries to establish, you know, his NWO. Okay. With the C hip, you know, it's gonna be made mandatory. All right, and after that, man, the war is right around the corner. You see, so let's keep going. Verse 16, it says, "Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thy heart, O thou that dwellest in the cliff of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill." Okay, these devils, man. And you go into the eagle, what's the highest, one of the highest flying birds. Okay. It has leverage, you know, because of, you know, it can fly at those extreme heights. Okay, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee from thence, said the Lord. So this devil has been allowed to just build up in riches, build up in military, build up in technology, build up in influence. All these things that this devil has built up in, and he's deceived as if he's able to do anything. Esau right now feels that as if he can pull off anything, man. He's at the peak of his pride, man. That's why you see so much open rebellion now, man. Okay, but he's gonna be brought down. So we're in the beginning of this man being brought down, and see he's bringing himself down because he thinks he's gonna revamp it. Okay, with this with the CBDC, man. Okay, it says, also Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by shall be astonished and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. Okay, so this is speaking to Esau, Edom. All right, the rulers of this current society, and his kingdom is going to be desolate. His infrastructure is going to be desolate, man. America going to be through. Those EU nations they're going to be war torn. Okay, the land of the Israel, which is our land, that's going to be devastated with war. Okay, and it's going to be cleansed through war. All right, being prepared for his people. All right, the scriptures say Judah shall dwell in itself. Okay, it says as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, said the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall son of man dwell in it. Okay, America gonna be desolate, a desert, a perpetual desert, only for the animals, man. Okay, so let's go from there. Let's see this, brother. Yep, because remember, they said that the that those Arabian states, those Arabian countries are opting out of the dollar as well, because they have a part, all right, in prophecy, man. Okay, this is 2nd Ezra 15:28. It's the brother Bayan Yasha'Allah. Behold, an horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. Okay, they call them Middle East, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. Yeah, and see, the Lord, all right, has been putting this thing together, man. Because those chariots are talking about those fighter jets, man. And where does Saudi Arabia get those fighter jets from? America. Because when Henry Kissinger, all right, when Nixon backed out of the gold standard, Henry Kissinger, okay, he came up with the petrodollar, and pretty much they struck a deal with the Saudis to only accept the dollar for their oil, okay? And in change, America would be a military aid to the Saudis, man, okay? They sold a lot of arms, okay, to the Saudis, okay, and thinking that the Saudis will always be an ally, all right. But we see things are turning, and them same arms, okay, that America has sold to them, all right. But brother can also post verse 32, bro. So like it. I ain't say it first, but verse 32, and it says that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Yeah, it's gonna be a terrible sight when all these nations start collabing against America, man. Because America got troops everywhere, man. America's finna be chased out the earth, man. All right, this is the worst time ever to be in the American military. See you, all right. Cause first, America, the men that American producing, these passive, Peter Griffin, okay, Americans, man. Okay, then a woman in the military, because see, yeah, anybody can be in the military with really ain't no real war going on. Okay, and then everything is so technological, they got drones, okay, but nah, it's finna get grimy, man. It's finna be boots on the ground. Okay, it's the worst time to be in the American military, man. Okay, because the American military is gonna be a target throughout the earth, man. You see, this is the time we're coming into. Verse 30, it says, also the Carmanians, which are the Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boar of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, man. So those Iranians and them Saudis gonna link up, you know. They already on their Islam tip. All right, they're gonna ride for Allah. Okay. Now they different sects, Sunni and Shiites. I forget which one is two. Brother can look it up. But at the end of the day, the Lord gonna put the spirit on them to come together, man, and that's gonna be a powerhouse in that Middle East, man. Saudi Arabia and Iran, it's gonna be a powerhouse, man. And they're gonna start running through American troops, man. Okay, the UAE, okay, all those nations, man. All right, it says they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, man. Okay, and that's gonna be America's military in that region, man. Okay, because because America, these military troops that are all throughout the earth is like an extension of America in these different lands, man. But these foreign armies, these foreign military is going to start running through these American troops everywhere, man. It's going to be on. See, it's finna be on. You see, this the exciting part of the movie, man. It's finna be on, man. Okay. So let me get this. I got this queued up already. Yeah, so let's listen to, all right, it's going to be Catherine Austin Fitz, Edomite. This is my my gorgeous auntie. You know, y'all, y'all show some love. All right. But yeah, so she's gonna go in on a few things. She makes a lot of points. You know, she gives a lot of good info dealing with you know, the powers that be, you know, how they're moving, how they operate, you know. So we're gonna go into this. All right, we're gonna jump around. You know, I say it's about an hour long. You know, I'll put the link in the description if you want to watch the whole thing through. But we're gonna jump around a few points. You know, probably get about 10 minutes of it. You know, that I just want to go into. All right. All right, so let's get it. Let's get it.
To the general use. Analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of to the general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that.
I heard what he said. They're going to have the technology to enforce that. All right. The CBDC ain't going to be like the dollar. It's going to be way more control. Matter of fact, the Elder Apostle Gabar been speaking on, they want total control. Okay.
Welcome to The Last American Vagabond. I am honored to be joined today by Catherine Austin Fitts to discuss the banking situation, the overlap with all the different conversations we've had, and actually spoken with her in the past in regard to the Great Reset, the Going Direct Reset, CBDCs, digital passports, digital IDs, and the interesting situation we find ourselves in. There's a lot of Americans out there and people around the world that are very concerned about where this is going, and no one better to have on today to talk about this discussion than Catherine Austin Fitts. How are you today? Thank you for joining me.
Hey, it's great to be back. How are you? I'm coming there soon. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, me too.
Like we were saying, we should connect since we're both in Tennessee.
We're going to meet in person.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
A momentous event. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. At the Children's Health Defense.
That's right.
Fundraiser, it'll be fun. But I'm really glad to have you on today because I think there's a lot of people that are rightly concerned about this because there's a lot of unknowns, and especially with all the other situations happening that. I would argue at a time when people are kind of seeing through illusions more than at least in my lifetime and are very concerned despite the aggressive comments that everything's fine, don't pay attention from the government and so on. So we played the Bank of International Settlements to open the show today, right. And the president talking about that basically how CBDCs can be controlled by the central financial structure and how they can enforce how you can use that money. And so from my perspective, I mean, there's a lot of ways people could go into this conversation. I want to talk to you about what you see in regard to, what's going on with the banking collapse at a general point, whether people should be concerned, what they should be doing, but also, as I know you are very outspoken about what this is really about and what this is tied to, and whether this is something that just happened, or in my opinion, whether this is being executed to justify a transition, or at the very least being used to do so. So go start wherever you'd like. And I actually, what I wanted to focus on at some point is the Going Direct Reset and how that was kind of the impetus, right, for all of where we are today. So go ahead.
So we're watching events that are within a framework which is very engineered and planned. So, so at the root of what's going on today is there is a group of people who are trying to totally centralize control of all financial transactions on the planet, 100% using digital technology. So we have one group, and you played Augustine Carstens. He's the general manager of the Bank of International Settlements. And basically what he said is we can create the rules centrally and we can enforce centrally because it's no longer your money, it's our money, and we can set the rules on how you can use our money. And what he's saying includes, taxation without representation. That's what he's describing. Okay, and it's a very rare moment when a central bank is telling you the truth. So there's a group of people who are centralizing financial transaction control and ending their desires to end financial transaction freedom. And then there's a group of people, a surprising number of whom of the most effective are in Tennessee, trying to protect financial transaction freedom. And that's the root thing that you and I need to understand. What we want, what everybody watching this wants, is they want financial transaction freedom. I want to be free to transact with you. And as the song says, ain't nobody's business if I do, right? Okay, it's between you and me. So one of the things, of course, we want to do is preserve cash. The second thing you're watching is we have this fight between the people trying to control and the people who want to preserve financial transaction freedom. And I want to point out, without financial transaction freedom, there will be no freedom. Freedom depends on financial transaction freedom. So between this dynamic of the people trying to protect freedom, transaction freedom, and the people trying to get control, you also at the top have a whole bunch of people competing for who's going to be, as they shrink the chairs in the game of musical chairs, everybody's fighting for who's going to be where on the chessboard and who's going to control the control, right? So we have two battles going on between the decentralized team and the centralizers, and then the centralizers are fighting among themselves. And of course,
so it lets you know that there's infighting, at the top. And you gotta think about it, man. These are the same, all right, Edomites, during the time of Alexander. They went to war, when it was time to, divide his kingdom up. Okay, and the Romans, you had the year of 4 Caesars. These Edomites are cutthroat. Okay, so that this man, all right, is there's some some discrepancy up top, and this is going to lead to the war, because all these militaries are nothing pretty much but the standing armies for the elites, man. Okay, the elites have funded, okay, these militaries of the earth, man. That's how Russia was able to get, these superior missile technology, okay. Through what, man? The funding of the elites, man. Okay, China funded by the elites. But see, these nations, all right, these elites, these Edomites, man, ain't no honor amongst thieves, man. Okay, so hey, they gonna scrap it out. Missiles gonna start flying, man. Okay, and the Lord gonna put it in their minds. Brother, get that Proverbs 21:1. Brother, get that real quick. Okay, I get this. This is Job 20:22. This is Brother Bayan Yasha'Allah says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Yeah, as he's getting closer and closer to rolling this thing out and getting the infrastructure ready. Okay, it's gonna be straits, man. We're gonna see, him partially get things up and running, and people see hip, and nigga gonna be on TikTok with the C hip. All right, the Eve gonna have it goddamn, the chip, C hip in the bonnet, goddamn, crazy shit, man. He gonna get it partially going, but see, it's gonna, all right, lead to a war for who's going to be the next, who's going to be in control. It says every hand of the wicked shall come up on him, and that wicked, goes into laborers, man. Okay, and that's why you see an uprising, in the middle class, okay, the essential workers, okay. You see, against this, they crying out against this beast, man. Okay, let's get this. This is Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand, okay, of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. Yeah, so the Lord is going to turn, all right, these elites against each other, man. Okay, that he's going to turn them against each other. All right, the Lord has their minds in his hand, and they do exactly what he wants to do, man, to fulfill his will. Okay, so let's let it play.
Every effort is being made by the corporate media to turn the rest of us who are trying to fight for transaction freedom to do divide and conquer. And so it can be very confusing to watch this if you don't see the gist of the main game. So that's what's going on now. As part of the centralization, we started in August 2019. The central bankers agreed, the G7 central bankers agreed to something called the Going Direct Reset. And that began, they voted in August 2019, and it began in September 2019. And everything that's happened since then is part of this process. Yeah, we did a big wrap up on the Going Direct Reset by John Titus, a wonderful piece of work. And then we have a summary up on the website. So if you go to Solari.com and just put in Going Direct Reset, you'll pull it up, and it explains essentially what they did. But Going Direct, among other things, refers to the central banks injecting massive amounts of money directly into, traditionally they would interact with the reserve circuit, and then the banks would lend money and they would create money or not. This is the Federal Reserve going direct. As a result of sort of what happened in the Going Direct Reset in the fall of 2019 and then 2020, massive amounts of money was injected into the economy, but it was injected into the economy in a way that would only build out certain sectors. So build out space, build out smart grid, essentially build out the infrastructure for control, get everybody on an electrical grid. And other areas of the economy were absolutely starved. And we see this dance between finance and healthcare. If the central bankers had to do all the centralizing control with money only, they would end up with everybody coming at them with pitchforks. And so they hide behind health. And we see this use of the health infrastructure basically to build the train tracks of control.
So they're using, all right, the front of health. That's why you had the whole demic. Okay, and what happened through the demic? They got rid of a lot of small business. See, they ain't got time for Willie and Earl's. Okay, Willie Earl's chicken and waffle. All right, he can't afford the goddamn the technology. Okay, for the C-hip. All right, they getting them out of there. And see, this next one is really, this collapse is gonna just obliterate them. All right, they want all these major corporations, all right, to exist, so they can easily centralize things. You say that's why a lot of traffic, would shift to who? Amazon. Okay, a lot of retail was pretty much shipped to Amazon, man. A lot of these, these retail stores are closing, man, because hey, now, it's easy. That's why you see what Amazon One, okay, is on the front line of what? The digital payments, man. Okay. So they use health, all right, but behind the healthcare, whole act of healthcare, what they're doing, they're building a new money infrastructure, a new currency infrastructure, man. Okay, digital IDs, okay, digital passports, all these things, man. You see, these devils started going in 2020, man. All right.
Build out smart grid, essentially build out the infrastructure for control, get everybody on an electrical grid. And other areas of the economy were absolutely starved. And we see this dance between finance and healthcare. If the central bankers had to do all the centralizing control with the money only, they would end up with everybody coming at them with pitchforks. And so they hide behind health. And we see this use of the health infrastructure basically to build the train tracks of control. So for the central banks, for example, to do CBDC, they need a digital ID. Well, you get that because you're trying to make everybody safe, right, with health. So we've had this dance during the Going Direct reset of using health to justify more central control. But that's essentially what it is. Now,
if
I
could ask one quick question about, so it's important. You and I have talked about this more than once, actually. And I think that for just really quickly, if you could encapsulate one, that happened before, as you mentioned, 2019. So this is pre-COVID. So people think the Great Reset. What we're talking about is an action that took place before the COVID-19 transition. So I'm interested to quickly explain. Go ahead.
Right. So the Great Reset is just the same thing as the Going Direct Reset.
Right.
The Going Direct Reset, I explain it from the financial point of view, and it's the plan the bankers voted on. But if you're going to market the reset, especially to young people, you want something that looks great, right? So we have the World Economic Forum, which I see as the marketing arm of the Going Direct Reset, to make this look like it's cool and groovy and interesting, and the future is inevitable. People being chipped is inevitable, so don't worry, it's fashionable. Go get into it. So there's simply the Great Reset is just what's spewing out of the marketing arm of what is. So think of that as the retail sell, whereas the Going Direct is the wholesale plan.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so what's interesting? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, it just makes a lot more sense when you realize, okay, the money guys are engineering the following. Now, they've turned it over to a retail group to sell, sort of the results of
I think that's going to
control.
That's going to resonate with average people more than, it's such.
So you have these, these money guys, all right, the money team, the real money team, setting up, all right, the infrastructure, while you have the WEF, all right, the World Economic Forum, selling it to the world, the fourth industrial revolution. Now I want to skip to some more of this. All right, she's gonna get to some more points.
The local banking situation, like we can see a declining power structure, and so ultimately,
Right.
and this
It's
is
a declining power structure, but it's a power structure that is scared.
Right, exactly. And so
the
my question
is,
would be, go ahead.
if they can't buy you with the subsidy they get from the global game anymore, if they're losing the ability to deliver that subsidy, and they've made extraordinary promises to you and me that they can't keep, how are they going to deal with that? Well, the Going Direct Reset is, it's no problem. We get 100% digital transaction control, and we simply control them. We put them all in digital concentration camps, 15-minute cities, an electric car, and they either do what we're just going to take all their assets.
Right.
So we're not going to deliver our promises. We're going to cut their lifestyle dramatically, and we're going to make them do what we say, or we're going to shut off their money. We will control them.
This is why I love your work on this, because you don't pull any punches on this point. A lot of people are afraid to even connect this stuff, and I think it's blatantly obvious. This is, I think, what's happening here. Like I said in the beginning, whether executed or just taken advantage of, is all about that transition. But
I'm just going to be ruthless.
Go for it.
The greatest, most profitable business in the history of the world is slavery. More than mining, more than anything else, slavery.
You heard that? She's finna say some heavy things, man. Brother can get Jeremiah 30:16. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go to the blessings of Isaiah. Isaiah, Genesis 27, 28, 29. Okay, let's get that, man. You know, Revelation 13 and 10. All right. She said the most lucrative, okay, the most profitable thing is slavery, man. How you think all these Edomites came up, these elite bankers, they came up? You know, look into how Nathan Rothschild financed, all right, the transatlantic slave trade, man. Okay? You know, these devils came up off that, man. You see? And all they did was went from private owned slaves to corporate slaves, man. Okay? That's why everyone has a social security card, man. But she's gonna go into how this digital, okay, this digital device is gonna fix all the problems of ancient slavery. You know, because if you control the labor, okay, if you have slaves, all right, you have control of the labor, all right, but you will also have what the responsibility of taking care of the slaves. Okay, so that's why now, okay, you pay for your own slave quarters and your meals. Okay, but you still work for them. You still work for the same people, man. Okay, the same nation. All right, so she's gonna go in. She's gonna say some things. But I'm gonna rewind it back, man. You know, she's gonna let you know what the most lucrative, okay, business is. Okay.
Are, and they either do what we're just going to take all their assets.
Right.
So we're not going to deliver our promises. We're going to cut their lifestyle dramatically, and we're going to make them do what we say, or we're going to shut off their money. We will control them.
This is why I love your work on this, because you don't pull any punches on this point. A lot of people are afraid to even connect this stuff, and I think it's blatantly obvious. This is, I think, what's happening here. Like I said in the beginning, whether executed or just taken advantage of, is all about that transition. But
I'm just going to be ruthless.
Go for it.
The greatest, most profitable business in the history of the world is slavery.
Man, hey, they came up off slavery. We're gonna come up off slavery. You see, we're gonna get our lick back, man, in every way. This is Genesis 27 and 28. All right, this is from the brother Bayan Yashala said, therefore the Most High give thee the dew of heaven. That's the possession of the whole earth. Okay, all the land and the earth. All right, waters, everything, oceans, everything. Okay, and the fatness of the earth. All right, the plush parts where we're going to dwell, and plenty of corn and wine, which are the resources. All right, but what's good at having the earth and owning all the resources if you don't have what? Slave labor. Okay, let people serve thee. You see that? And nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Man, it's talking about these Edomites, man, which are in power now. Eventually, in the kingdom to come, where Yahweh Shai, when he dominates the earth, okay, in World War III, all right, all these nations go into captivity, man, beginning with Esau, Edom, okay, and they're going to serve. So just as the earth came up off our slave labor, we're going to come up off their slave labor, man. Our kingdom is going to be built through slave labor. Okay? It said, cursed be everyone that cursed thee, and blessed be he that blessed be. Yeah, because we're going to be in power. Okay? And you get favor with the nation in power by appeasing that nation. Okay? These niggas that sell out, okay, they're a blessing unto Esau. Okay, so Esau blessed them niggas, man, to a degree. Okay, but if you're against the society, all right, hey, what does he do, man? All right, he makes it hard on you. You see, but we're going to be in that power seat, man, and our standard is going to be righteousness, man. Okay. Let's get that in Revelation 13 and 10. It says, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity, He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. Okay? So the scriptures go into what? Captivity. All right, we're in captivity. We were led into captivity by who? Esau, Edom. Okay, so he must go into captivity. Okay, we're gonna get that slave labor back. This is beyond Yasha Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Okay, so all of them shall go into captivity. All these heathens are going to be slave labor. Okay? Yep, brother God did this in 2nd Ezra 15:55. It said, the reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom. This is going to Moab. Therefore shalt thou receive recompense. Okay? Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, said the Lord, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Okay? So we're going to get that slave labor back from all these heathens, man. Okay? We're going to come up off of them. They made a prey. We was a prey unto them. They're going to be a prey unto us, man. Like we was a spoil unto them. They're going to be a spoil unto us, man. You know? And that's what we're going back to ancient warfare, man. When you take the earth, you take everything in it, and you get the choice of the best of what you want, man, out of these nations, man. Okay? So let me let some more of this play.
You know, more than mining, more than anything else, slavery. That's what this is about. Digital technology solves all the bad problems they had with slavery the last time. All those problems you can now solve with digital technology. You can perfect your collateral. If I can implant a chip in you, and if you watch that video I have up on my website of Richard Warner explaining the central bankers told him, you know, they want to put a chip in you. Right. If I can put a chip in you, then I can collateralize you. I can perfect my collateral as a banker. And now we're off to the races. I can build a slavery system, and with robotics, AI, and automation, I can manage it, no problem, is what they think. Now, right. I don't agree with them, but they think they've got it. Now,
So Esau's going to sell it to you as an upgrade, as freedom, transhumanism. You know, you can just think about TikTok. You know, he's going to sell it to you, man. Okay, as a great upgrade. But this C-hip is Esau's slavery perfected. Okay, this is his slavery perfected. You see? Through digital, through putting you on this digital grid, he's gonna have full control. All right, goddamn devil, man. He's more subtle than any beast of the field, man. All right, so I'm gonna jump one more in this video, and that'll be it on that. Think is.
Okay.
Were they ever really there, though? Right? I mean, I feel like this was always teetering based on the way it was set up.
We destroyed our country with what's called federal credit. Okay. You know, in the old days, if you had a bank and mortgages weren't insured by the feds, you know, if somebody defaulted on the mortgage, the bank could lose money. But when you add the FHA and federal credit, then, you know, you can a bank can originate tons of mortgages in the neighborhood, put them into Freddie, Fannie, Ginnie, and if drugs come in and default all the mortgages, they don't lose money. They don't have to care. Okay. By trying to guarantee safety, we have destroyed responsibility and accountability.
Right.
In our, not just in our economy, but in our culture. And again, you can guarantee with the federal credit all you want. But let me tell you something. If you poison our children with bad food and bad education and bad pharmaceuticals, guess what? There is no future. I don't care how much federal credit you use to insure everything. While you're sitting there thinking you're safe, the whole future is going to die.
And that's another point, she just made is, they set up this infrastructure, all right, this digital infrastructure. What are they doing? They're destroying the minds of children. Just the fact that children are being exposed to what they're being exposed to, they're destroying the minds of children, man. Okay, this generation cannot become adults, man. I'm a firm believer that the Lord is not going to allow this generation of children to become adults, man. Okay, the way he's full throttle, because there's no resistance. There's really no resistance, man. Okay, because the adults on TikTok all goddamn day, man. Everybody got an opinion. The woman versus the man, and I'm trying to be a soft girl life, and it's red pill. Everybody's on goddamn TikTok. So in the background, Esau is having his way with the children, man. Okay, this generation has no resistance to the wickedness that they're seeing and being exposed to, man. Okay, and he's doing this the meanwhile while he's setting up this infrastructure, this digital infrastructure, man. Okay, so let's play some more. If a brother can put that, was that Matthew 21 and now Matthew 24, I think 21. No flesh shall make it. All right, if this nigga was to continue, man. Okay.
Right. So it sounds like you could argue this was about safety. I'm more of a pessimist and would think maybe that was the narrative, and it was more about opening the system to lead to where we are today. I brings to mind a great Ron Paul congressional back and forth with one of these financial experts, where he's talking, and this is what it sounds like we're getting at, is that the system at one point was that these banks failed. Well, they failed, and they're responsible. They could try to get loans from other banks, but ultimately it falls to their, and yes, the creditors might, lose because of that, but that's a self-responsibility. You should do your research on the individual banks and so on. But the moment it became a federal protection kind of thing, well, now it falls to us. And I think, this seems like a scam to me, whether or not it was ultimately envisioned to save us or not. It feels like it was inherent corruption. And
but here's what's happening. We had a takedown at SVB. There's a game going on, and
which means deliberate, by the way. So you're implying that was a deliberate action.
I believe it was a takedown, not a traditional bank run.
I agree. Okay. That's very interesting.
But what it turned into was an effort by a variety of players to panic everyone into believing they had to, that this was going to turn into wider contagion run. Mm-hmm. Now, if you do look at the numbers on the banking system, if interest rates continue to stay high for a long period of time, and a lot of banks have to run a negative arbitrage, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. That is a problem. So you're going to have banks that get into trouble and end up going out of business in that situation. That is true. But it's not necessarily true that interest rates are going to stay up for a long. I mean, they could. We don't know. But so if you look at all the people trying to panic, and you look at that section of them, which I would describe as legitimate, the panic is not that the banking system is going to collapse. The panic is that without the rule of law and doing things that destroy the population's productivity consistently, regularly, the economy is the civilization is going to collapse because it deserves to collapse. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So let's get down to the root of the problem. The banking system, my concern is as follows. We use the pandemic to go to complete control. You got to kill the small guys. You got to kill the small farms. You got to kill the small businesses, and you got to kill the small banks. So we use the healthcare game to shut down the small businesses and the farms, not because they're less productive, but because the guys running the game could pick up huge market share and make a fortune stealing, their businesses and picking up their assets cheap. It's a, you pump money into your pals and then you shut down your enemies and then your pals can go pick your enemies up for cheap. Okay.
Right.
So we shut down the small farms and small business, grossly oversimplified, and now we're ready to shut down the small banks. Now, if you're the top guys and you want to play this game, who better to shut down the small banks than panic on all the small bank depositors and scaring them and getting them to walk their deposits across the street to the criminals?
Interesting.
Right.
That's so fascinating.
Right.
So, see,
right. So what
I
I'm
was
watching, I'm watching is a game where they're trying to talk you out of committing financial suicide and helping them institute complete financial transaction. So I don't want,
So this now, see, I've been thinking about the way you talk about this as a financial coup. And the way you just said
it is a financial coup.
I agree, but the way
Right.
you just said it right there really just solidified that. See, here's what's interesting. When I was covering this up, since it started, I wasn't telling people to go take their money out of the bank, but I argued, I don't have faith in the system. And I would argue, from my perspective, if you think it's smart, don't be afraid to trigger some run if you think that's right for you. But what's interesting is it almost seems like that's what they wanted from us, the way you explain this, to go take it to, because most people won't take it, put it in the safe. They're going to, you're right, take it to one of the bigger banks.
They're going to take it to the guys who started the run.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Think of a starting a bank. When the big guys start a bank run, what they're trying to do is get all their neighbors' cattle, to stampede into their corral. Right?
Yeah, man. And there you have it. You see? Because a lot of time when they did those bank runs, because it was from like 3 months ago. So that was when that Silicon Valley Bank, that's when they kept referring to as SVB, was the Silicon Valley Bank. And pretty much what you had, those smaller banks closing, and those people were taking their money and going and putting it in the big banks. That's what they wanted. They want to centralize everything, man. Okay, and she said that they done knocked off a lot of small businesses. They're pretty much trying to monopolize the farming industry. Okay, we got Bill Gates buying up all the farmland. All right, now they're starting to knock off these banks, man. Hey, Esau is moving. Yeah, he'll allow you to go to the beach and the Essence Fest. You see the Usher concert. You can do these things, but this nigga is moving, man. This nigga ain't idle. Okay? So as these things are happening, man, we're just keeping track and watching, man. We're going to continue to watch how this devil is moving, man. Brother can put that also in 1 Peter. All right, 1 Peter 4:7. I believe that's it. This is Matthew 24:21. Said, For then shall be great tribulation, such as not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Yeah, because this money collapse, this transition is gonna be extremely violent and bloody and chaotic, man. Okay, this is gonna be extremely violent and bloody with this transaction the devil's getting ready to do, man. Okay. verse 22 is from the brother Beyond Yashala. It says, and except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, the days shall be shortened. Yeah, the Lord got to end this, man. Because like I say, this generation, just from this point today, the generation of the children from kindergarten through 12th grade, what they've been exposed, these kindergartners through 5th grade, okay? Let's say elementary school. What these elementary school children have witnessed going through a pandemic, which that was all a ritual, okay? But what they're being exposed to with the with the with the drag racing story time, okay? The alphabet, curriculum, alphabet clothing, the bathrooms, like what they're experiencing in their young age, because that's their most impressionable age. Listen, they're done. This generation, they're done. You see, the Lord got to cut this thing short. You know, there's no way that they can become adults, man. You think, we think, people are bugged out now. What this man is doing to this generation. See, this is just, thugs and thoughts and, Miss Independence and, the degenerate niggas, with it's crazy dysfunction, but it's, it's a little, you can deal to a degree. But what this nigga finna bring, what this nigga is pumping into the kindergartners and, the elementary students now, we don't want to be here, man. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. It said, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober, okay, and watch unto prayer. So the end of all things is here. The end of our captivity, the end of Esau rulership, the end of wickedness ruling the earth, okay? We're at the end of these things, man. All this nigga, Esau all over the place, and wickedness, all this finna end. You see, disorder in the earth, all this finna end, okay? And it's gonna be, it's gonna be through what, man? All right, the economical collapse. Esau trying to revamp it with the sea hip and with, hold on, okay, which is gonna lead into war. All right, so that's the point. Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you few sisters edified. Till next time, I say shalom, Kwam Yashala, Baba, detailed soon, shalom.